Well, welcome to part 2 of Punch List Saturday. Here's our Advantium. Yeah, it's about 15 years old. It's been used really hard because family of 5, kids, wife that cooks like a ninja. It gets used a lot and it's hanging in there. I've got a new keypad on order because half the time the buttons don't respond. You can't read things anymore. It's been touched so many times. And a few weeks ago, I went to open that door and ripped the handle right off of it. Well, turns out you cannot buy replacement handles for this model anymore. So the job for today is pull the door off and see if we can come up with some kind of jury rig solution to reattach this handle to that door. So this ought to be interesting. And by the way, I got to make sure I don't ruin it in the process because we still have to be able to use it. So let's see what happens. I have taken this apart once before, and if I remember correctly, what we need to do is take this top piece off, and I think then the door will come off the hinges. So there are 2 screws at the top here that you pull out. Great time to clean the top of this thing. And then this thing can come off just like that. Clean that. And having done that, I think the door, yeah, there you go. See, it just comes right off the hinges. So now we got that, which will get to the basement, and I think I'm going to clean it first, and then figure out how to disassemble it, which I don't know the answer to that yet, but we'll figure it out. Well, I got the door cleaned off. Got a spot cleaned off on my workbench here just so I could put it down without damaging it. Now the trick is, how do you get at the inside of this? I know there's a way to take this door apart. Obviously I should say it's not obvious to me what that is. So before I go any further and cause, a problem, I guess I'll go to YouTube and do some research. I'm sure somebody's got a video out there shows how to replace a handle, and I need to know how to get inside the door so I can get at that back end of that hardware. So off to YouTube, and I'll be back. I'm back. Watch my YouTube videos, and what I learned is apparently this plastic piece that goes all the way around can simply be pried up carefully, that's the key word, using some kind of a flat piece, whatever. So I don't know, let's try this, see what happens here. Trouble getting into it. Try up here. There we go. Popped, right? Popped up. You see, carefully just work your way around, popping them out, popping it out. There we go. Obviously, we don't want to break it because that's going to make problems that much deeper than what they already are. There we go. Coming out. There we go. It's off. And now you have access to the 2 screws that hold the handle in place. They're right down there. So let's just take those off. See them? Like that. Get those out of there. One. Pretty small. broken piece of the handle there. There's the other broken piece of the handle. There's the other screw. Now we have to consternate, try to figure out how we're going to solve this problem. Should be interesting. We'll be back shortly. Well, I've developed a strategy. So basically what has happened is that these two pieces of the handle have broken off. You know, one is here, went like that. Obviously the other one's over here. And the screws that were in it really are only long enough to go through this part of, you know, this much of the handle. So when the plastic broke off, there was nothing, you know, nothing in that part of the handle. So I think what I'm going to do is, and the other thing I want to say is that I took a closer look at this door, slide it over, and what I found is that, you know, I was thinking at first this might clip on the other side of something, but it doesn't. It seems like it just goes in like that, and then the screw simply comes through and goes into this. So because of that, I feel like, let me see here, try this. Yeah. I feel like a reasonable strategy is to try to super glue this on the back. Now I'm only doing that to hold it in place, not because I'm expecting it to provide any kind of strength. But I think if I super glue both these back in place, I'll give me enough time to get the handle positioned where I want it. Then I found longer screws than what the original ones are, right? Quite a bit longer. I'm pretty confident they will not go beyond the surface of the handle once they're in. And you know, they're obviously the right size. They go through this fine. And I've kind of tested that when the screw continues into the handle, it's biting into plastic, which is good, right? So it's gonna get a good grip, and it's gonna be in there as much as ½ inch. So I'm hoping that that'll be enough to keep this thing working for another 5-10 years. I don't know, it might fail, but if it does, what I can always do later is come up with a mechanism that goes all the way through, and I put a cap on this side, you know, a decent looking cap nut, and then I can have a more, you know, almost unbreakable bond there. So that's what we'll try. I'll start by trying to super glue those pieces on, and then we'll see what happens. Well, I have them super glued now, and as I said, my only goal with this was have them hold in place so that I could have the handle hold in position while I try to run these screws in. So that seems to work. So let's just see if we get these screws in. It's going to get tough to push it down through that plastic, but let's see. I'm going to put my finger down there just in case I start to feel something poke through that plastic. I've got a little time to back off of it. Don't feel anything yet. Getting close to home. Okay, I think I'm all the way down. Alright, that's good. Try the other one.
Boom. All right, so here's the acid test. Seems to work. Okay, all I gotta do is put our panel back on. And hang the door again. I think we have conquered this. All right, nice. I can live with that. It works. It works. I think it'll hold up. I hope it holds up.
Where's the finished job? Hey, honey, look at this.
Yay, finally! It only took you 4 weeks.
Well, there's that. It's done.